Good evening and welcome along to episode 85 of the West Yorkshire Football Show's Monday Night Roundtable with myself, Stephen Brown, and joining me on tonight's show is my esteemed fellow co-host. It is Chris Bell. We've got Gareth Walker here to chat all things Bradford City, and rounding off our panel, we've got Town's very own Stephen Downs. How are we doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, all good. That's probably the nicest intro you've ever given, Chris. He never pays the same compliment back, does he? You know what I mean?
Does he not? Does he not? Right, I take it back. I take it back.
I often do refer to him as co-host. Yeah,
yeah, you do.
You're not
esteemed, though.
Esteemed. You missed the word there.
Get the esteemed in. Get the esteemed in. Welcome along, everyone. If you're watching on live, please do get a like on the video. Get your comments in as well. Please get subscribed to the channel as well. We're going to look at all things League One to kick us off, and it's quite funny this season because, Chris, I don't think we've ever talked about Lincoln as much as we ever have on our entire run on this channel and previous incarnations as well. But we are going to be chatting a little bit of Lincoln as well because they are playing Town tomorrow. Let's start with Huddersfield Town. Downsy, you and the boys, you were on last night, Town Talk, giving your reaction to the 3-3 draw against Wimbledon. So, guys, if you're watching along and you want to get a full breakdown of the game and Steve and the gang's thoughts on that, please do check that out on the channel there. But Downsy, I mean, from the outset, I mean, 3 goals, it looks quite exciting, but the vibe is it seems are not very happy.
It was a thriller. Yeah. What can he complain about?
No, there's lots to complain about. If you want to see the complaint, please go and do watch Town Talk from last night. That's what I'd say. An hour and a quarter of stellar content for you there. No, I think, listen, to score 3 goals is good, but to concede 3 crap goals is not so good. In the first half, it was 1-0, by the way, going into half-time. So I can't believe we got 5 goals in the second half because it didn't look like it was going to be that sort of game. Town dominated pretty much throughout the fixture. 25 goals, bloody hell. 25 shots on goal, with pretty much a large majority of that being on target. Wimbledon, I think, only had 4-5 shots in the entire game and somehow scored 3, albeit were helped by our goalkeeper, who has decided to once again go on a madness in the last week. Also being at the Luton game, we lost that in midweek on Tuesday. So whilst it was very happy on Town Talk a week ago, I feel like a week is a long time in football, as we'll all know on this podcast.
And
it is, but it's a perfect cliche, and it's a very apt one for being a Huddersfield Town fan. Because I was on top of the moon last week, and this week it's not quite Grant out, but it's definitely a case of Grant needs to pull up his jock straps and get us back to winning ways tomorrow night against a tiny little non-league club. That'd be superb.
Poking the bear. We love it. Defensively, then, Steve. I mean, obviously, conceding from set pieces, the sloppiness of the defending, is this something we've kind of you've seen quite a lot this season, or is this kind of creeping in a bit too much for your liking now?
Yeah, I think what sides have determined is that we have got a bit of a soft defence. We are now joint 4th worst defensive in the division. We've conceded as of now we've conceded 25 goals. Which is the 28, which is the joint 4th.
You're right, sorry.
Thank you. Shut up, you non-league small fan. But, 25 goals. I can do 22 plus 3, Chris. But yeah, it is a bit of a soft underbelly, Brown, I have to say, where we don't seem to have, whereas before we had like a Hellick going in there and just clearing everything. We don't have that sort of character. I thought Joe Lowe was going to be it, but he's come in being inconsistent and also being injured. Volker's not that sort of centre-back, and neither, to be fair, is Josh Feeney. So Wimbledon definitely took advantage of that. We gave 2 soft free kicks away, with which Wimbledon scored. The first, which was the second goal, ironically, was going on target, Goodman decided to do everything in his power to palm it back into the box, something from the age of about 3 you're told not to do as a goalkeeper, but this is a professional who decided to do that. And then the second one, although it's a decent header by Johnson, again it should have been defended a lot better, and nobody picking up the men, and Goodman getting nowhere close to the ball. So disappointing from the goals, Brownie, that we conceded.
Yeah, Grant, after the game, said the goals conceded really aren't good enough individually or collectively, and the performance generally fell short of what was required. But he did praise the group's character, saying the character of the group to come back 3 times. He loves it, although he doesn't take much consolation from the point, and that result will stick in his throat. You've kind of talked before about Grant sounding like a bit like an FA coaching manual. I mean, is there a sense that he's kind of growing in the job? Obviously, it's his first proper go at management, and does it feel like he's developing as the season goes on there?
Well, I hate that 5-letter word now, group. I'll be absolutely honest. That can go out the dictionary. Jesus. I think to be honest that we saw in the 3 games previous to these 2, we thought, right, he's learning. He's starting to get a bit of a formation together that actually suits the players. When you're playing sort of round pegs in roundish holes, as it were. But he still has this ability to speak like he's Sir Gareth Southgate in FA mode, I have to say. And I know the fella in the top right absolutely loves Sir Gareth, but at this moment in time, Grant is not as good as Sir Gareth and will probably never get a knighthood. So unless he gets down to the Champions League final, then it's looking unlikely. But listen, he's going
final, let alone the Champions League.
Yeah. Well, let's see. But yeah, in terms of him growing, I think it's going to be good that the new sporting director's coming in, Chris Markham. That'll take some weight off what has been, quite a heavy job for Grant as his first one. I mean, he's dealing with, players' contracts, bringing players in. He's having to deal with so many more things than probably just coaching the lads on the training pitch. So I'd like to think that now that we've brought this Chris Markham in, hopefully that lets Grant concentrate on the things that he's probably best at doing, which is coaching the players, and that's what he was good at Ipswich, by all accounts.
I think we probably don't appreciate that step up to first team management if you've never done it before. I mean, it must be absolutely just something else. I mean, a different beast completely, because I mean, everything you hear about managers, it's, you first to get in, you're last to leave. And like you say, you're dealing with so many spinning plates, and you just wonder if you give him that amount of time, hopefully he can kind of get to grips with it.
But it's more than just like, say, dealing with players' contracts and stuff. It's also like little things in it, like dealing with the medical staff and making sure they're all, properly sort of like coordinated. It's probably even dealing with things like, I don't know, players' meals and stuff like that. And yeah, okay, the club has nutritionists and or sort of health professionals, but a manager wants to control all that as well, because it's so important these days that the lads are fit and ready to play in every single department. And a lot of the time you see sporting directors, that's where managing up and managing down comes into play, doesn't it? And Grant to take that on his own with the whole expectation of the fan base and where the club is at and what we've gone through in the last 6 years, that's a lot to take on for a young manager. So, firstly, fair play to him for doing it. Although it's not gone perfectly so far, but hopefully now that we have got a sporting director in the room, Grant can do what he does best and get the players playing like we know that they can. Because when we play good football, we play really good football.
Yeah, just bringing in some of the comments. Ian, thank you very much for your comment, mate. Ian asks, what's the history of the new director of football at Town? How much do we know about him, Steve?
Yeah, well, we know quite a lot about him actually because he. So his name is Chris Markham. He was an analyst at Huddersfield Town from 2009 to 2017. He then went on to the FA and worked under Sir Gareth in a number of roles, and he actually is praised for our victory over Colombia in the penalty shootout in 2018 because it was Chris Markham's team that went into absolute depth. I mean, you look at the report that he did put into the FA, and it goes into some depth. I mean, it's talking about every player in that Colombia squad, where the potential penalty is, how many they've taken, what side they're going. It goes into so much detail. I can't even speak about it here. And after the game, Gareth Southgate did text Chris Markham to thank him and his team for his work, because he basically said, you know, without you guys, we may not have won that penalty shootout. Now that might be arguable, but it does show the level of respect that he does have in the football world. He then went on to Bolton Wanderers. And obviously Bolton were going through a bad patch at the time. They went down to League Two level. Now, some people might say, well, us four on here could get Bolton promoted out of League Two with the budget that they've got. And I'm sure Chris will probably prove that on Football Manager at some point. But what I would say is, listen, he had to work with the tools that he was given. He got the job done. He helped to get the club up. Stabilised them in League One, and they finished, I think it was 3rd, 5th, and 8th under Markham in League One. So, yeah, he's got proven credentials. He knows the football club. He's a fan of the football club. His whole family are Town supporters. So he's going to go out there, isn't he, and sign players and really sell it to players. So I don't think that's a bad thing to have in a person. I love people that come from the area, that support the club and want the best for the team. And he's going to go out there and do his absolute best for us. So bring it on.
Yeah, just want to bring another comment as well, changing tack slightly before we have a look at the League One table. Sporting Journey, thanks for your comment, mate. Huddersfield just have to navigate the heavy Christmas fixtures and be within touching distance, and who knows where they can finish. Do you see it the same way there, Steve?
Yeah, we got a lot of games up until the 13th. Grant's talked about this sort of block of fixtures and looking at them in one go. I'll be honest, Huddersfield Town need to win every fixture from now until the end of the season. Obviously, we're not going to do that, but we as a football club need to be in that top 6, at least in that top 6, and challenging for promotion. And that's the expectation that not just Grant has, but now Chris Markham has, and definitely Kevin Nagle has. And it's one that Kevin Nagle set himself. So, yeah, getting through the fixtures, but it's not just about getting through them. It's about picking up enough points. And you look at the table. I know you want to go on to look at the table. Look, listen, nobody in this division is wanting to win this league. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Thanks for cutting us off there, Chris, on the graphic. But, yeah,
sorry. Had to extend the table to get you in.
Yeah, 100%. Can't wait to smash you tomorrow. Anyway, Cardiff up at the top, 32 points. You go all the way down to us, and we're only, 6 points behind the leaders and even below us. There's loads of teams there. To the bottom of the graphic, 24 points, Rotherham in 13. So it's a very tight table. It's probably the tightest League One table I've seen for a long time. And anybody could be promoted. I mean, you look at Stockport, just to sort of like go slightly off topic, but Stockport were expected with Dave Chandler to be in and around the top 3 in this league, and so were Luton. And look, they've both not had good seasons so far. Stockport have slipped in the last couple of weeks, and so it's anybody's, isn't it? And you have to give credit to teams like Stevenage, Bradford, and even, if I have to say, Lincoln, for putting the bigger I would say the bigger teams or the more expected teams, I should say, under pressure in this division.
The bigger budgets, that's the word you're looking for.
If that's what you want to say, Chris, that's what you want to say.
Getting on to fixtures then. God, it seems like we're always talking about Lincoln playing one of our teams, but it's the Football League Trophy tomorrow. Huddersfield versus Lincoln. Are you going, either of you, or what's the situation?
Well, I did
another meet up, or what's happening?
I did want to go, but Chris bottled it and said that he couldn't be bothered. So, I mean, I were up for going.
All right.
I were absolutely up for going and seeing Town win. But Chris has bottled it.
If you want to talk of people bottling it, I said that I'd rather go to the more
Chris.
important fixture of the league meeting on New Year's Day, which I'll be at. The Downsy is apparently bottled. To be fair, tomorrow night's is awkward because it's a 7 o'clock kickoff, and you're talking a 2-hour journey. And
you find a way, Chris. You find a way, lad. New Year's Day is time to spend time with family, not at a football league ground.
Bullshit! Like New Year's Day is a football day, and you know it. The fact that it's a 7 o'clock kickoff doesn't help tomorrow night. To be fair, that's the biggest thing. Is that I can't get down there in time for kickoff because I'm having to look after my daughter. So, yeah,
bring her along. I said bring her along so you can watch the magnificent Joe Taylor run about for 90 minutes.
School on Wednesday.
Well, she can tell people about Joe Taylor running around at his ex-club, smashing goals in. But no, it's. Brownie, tomorrow, obviously, it's a fixture that I don't know how both clubs will look at it, really, because the league is far more...
11s, I expect.
Yeah, the league is so much more important, especially, with where both clubs are. Lincoln have started unbelievably. We obviously saw them away at Bradford, and, although they weren't stellar that night, they could have definitely won that fixture. And so what I would say is they're a dangerous opposition. I don't think that their number 20 is very good, but I'll say that till the day I die, probably. But yeah, it's going to be a tough fixture. Is it one that I massively care about compared to Cardiff at the weekend? No, but just to knock Chris out of this round would mean the world to me. And you can click that up, get it clicked up, send it on the Lincoln forums, get it clicked up. Go on.
Yeah. Then moving on to the weekend, Steve, just the small task of the league leaders away from home, a trip to Cardiff.
Yeah, but it's a do you know what, Brown? It's a fixture that Town probably will go win 4-0, and I'll sit here and it's just a Town thing.
Now, get that clipped up as well. Jesus.
No, but it is the sort of fixture that Town will perform better in. We perform better against the teams that we should that we should ironically struggle against. So Cardiff away has never been a good trip for Huddersfield. We never do well in Wales anyway, whether it's Swansea or Cardiff. And so it's going to be a tough fixture. They play a certain style of football. They've got very, very good players. That I think they won 3-0 this weekend. So listen, I'm not expecting it to be a happy week. Another happy week for being a Town fan. I'll probably be sat here next Monday and Sunday night, probably depressed knowing we've gone out the virtual trophy. I have to face that man in the top right, and then we get smashed away at Cardiff. So yeah, it's going to be a great week. I'm taking Gaz's approach to life tonight. Glass half empty.
Any Town Talk special, Chris and Steve, tomorrow? Any chance post-match reaction?
You know what? What we could have done, a watch-along with it, to be fair, because obviously it'll be on Sky Sports Plus.
Oh, that would have been good.
So
that would have been good.
We hypothetically, we could try and do something maybe during the game itself. We'll put a sense together after the show.
Hypothetically, it depends if I want to go play football instead of facing Chris all night. But there we go. I'll have a think about that one.
Oh, so hang on. So what you're saying is that apparently I'm the one that's bottled it, but he can't even.
No, I was happy to go. I was happy to go.
You can imagine what a watch along with these two would be like, couldn't you? Yeah, if you're interested.
Gaz would love it.
It'd get viewed. Gaz would just tune in for laughs. That's what Gaz would do. He'd love it. 2 League One fans ripping themselves to bits.
Just a quick comment here from Jed as well. Thanks for your comment, mate. We need to make a statement if we're really serious about promotion this season. End of. Good stuff. All right. Well, staying in League One, Gaz, we're going to come to you, mate. Bradford City, first League One victory in 7 games, beating Exeter 1-0 at home. Please, if you want a full match review, Gaz's stuff is on the channel as well. So check out Gaz's match review for that game there as well. Follow us on socials as well. TikTok, we're on there as well. And all Gaz's reviews are on there as well. So please check that out. Not a vintage performance, Gaz, I think. Had to defend well at times. I know that Exeter, I think they created 19 shots, which is the joint highest against City this season. However, got the job done and back to winning ways.
Yeah, and I think that's all we needed, really, considering the run we were on. Like you said, I think it was 1 winning 7, 1 winning 8. Most of those have been draws, to be fair. They only lost once. That was the Burton game when the first half performance cost us. We left ourselves too much to do in second half. But mainly draws over that period of time. We needed a win. And that, like I said, we got it without it being a classic, without us playing what I'd say particularly well. Exeter were good. Exeter were good value. They had a lot of the play, a lot of the ball, played some really good football. Sam Walker, man of the match, and that's quite telling, really. Not often that he's been man of the match at City. I mean, he's been a good keeper for us, but it's not often that they've put us under pressure. Teams have come and put us under pressure like they did on Saturday. They played with the extra. They had the extra man in midfield, which teams have started to do coming to City. Come in with an extra man in midfield and causing us problems, popping it off around point and around Power and Patterson or whoever's in there at the time. And it's a method that, yeah, it's having success. And I suppose Graham Alexander's got to find a way around it. He changed things at half time and we were a little bit better in the second half. He probably should have changed it earlier against Burton when they were doing the same thing. But yeah, Saturday in itself, just about getting the win, Brownie, and that's what we did without, like I said, being great. Probably second best, in my opinion, really, for most of the game. And if Exeter have had a decent striker or if Sam Walker hadn't been on it, we'd have definitely dropped points, if not lost the game. But we got the win, and that's all that matters because we needed it.
Yeah, that defensive discipline as well. You know, a lot of people said that really stood out from the weekend, and that's vital, isn't it? When you're maybe not at your best, you're not your fluent best, you're not dominating a game. If you've got that defensive resilience, you can stay in a game and nick the 3 points.
Yeah, and defensively, we have shipped goals this season. I think largely that's been down to injuries at the back and constantly having to swap and change the starting lineup about. But Saturday, we were very, 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 I wouldn't say good, but I'd say committed. The people were throwing the bodies on the line, getting blocks in where they needed to. And that was good to see. Back in on the right of the back three because Matthew Pennington was injured and Baldwin's just come back himself. He adds another dimension to us at the back because very good with the ball at his feet. So that helped. And then Joe Wright obviously heads everything away. That's what he's there to do in the middle of the back three. Just head it if he can. And he managed to do that on Saturday and even pops up with the goal at the other end of the pitch. So, yeah, it was good to keep a clean sheet because that's something that we haven't had a lot of this season. And hopefully that's a sign of things to come defensively, particularly with the commitment that the players showed. Yeah,
we should give a shout out as well. Sam Walker, man of the match. A lot of big saves at the weekend as well.
Yeah, he was really, really good, especially second half. Like I said, we probably improved in the second half. Like I said, they popped it off around us quite a lot with the extra man in midfield in the first half. We did improve in the second, but towards the end of the game, last 15, 20 minutes, they had a real go, and Sam Walker's earned his wage there and got him man of the match performance. 2 really, really good saves and thoroughly deserved it. It was nice to see him getting the praise. He's been a good keeper for us as Sam Walker so far, and he showed that again on Saturday. So reasonably happy just to get the win, mainly, Brownie.
Yeah, indeed. Guys, if you're watching along as well, if you've just tuned in, if you wouldn't mind just liking the video, sharing it, get your comments in, and please subscribe to the channel as always as well. Gaz, question here from Charlie. Gaz, please talk about the striker situation at Bradford. I'm not sure there will be pickings in January. What do you make of that, Gaz?
It's a difficult one because I I'm a big Andy Cook fan. Obviously, he's had his injuries and he hasn't regained his place in the team since he's come back from injury. He's been more of a substitute coming on off the bench. Now, whether that's a fitness thing and he's still building up, or whether, as some people suggest, he doesn't necessarily fit the style of player that we've been playing since he's been injured, that is open to debate. I still think personally he's the best finisher we have at the club. I think if you give all our strikers a chance in the penalty area or the 6-yard box, Cook is the one you'd back the most to score. But yes, there is an argument that he doesn't fit into the press that we play. The players that are more likely to fit into the press and lead the press from the front are Callum Kavanagh and Will Swan. Now, Callum Kavanagh, there's a lot of debate over whether he can make the step up into League One. He too has been injured, came back in a month or so back from his injury, scored a couple in the Virtue Motors, and then didn't do a lot after that, and has since lost his place in the side and hasn't even made the bench recently. Will Swan started the season like an absolute train, scored quite a few goals, and then the goals have dried up, and he too's lost his place in the side. He came on as a sub on Saturday at half-time when we changed the shape. We went to 2 up front, and he led the press really, really well, and I thought he did get hauled off towards the end, but that was it's always disappointing when a sub gets subbed. What Graham Alexander explained afterwards, that he'd had a word with Will Swan, and it was literally just because we were kind of defending for our lives in the last 10 minutes and needed an extra man in midfield. But I think he's the one that's going to lead the press, if anybody. The elephant in the room is Stephen Humphreys. Now, Stephen Humphreys came with a big reputation, a player that had done well at Barnsley towards the end of last season, but a player that has openly said that he'd rather be on the wing than up front, and a lot of fans think that he's better coming off the wide left or the wide right, mainly off the wide left. He has flattered to deceive quite a lot in his performances as a striker, but the quality is clearly there. I'd say technically he's probably the best striker that we have at the club. Technically, you see some of the stuff that he does with the ball. It's really, really good. I thought he was fantastic when he came on against Bolton 10 days ago, changed the game when he came on in the second half. Really was a real threat. And obviously the goal that he got against Barnsley, the flick with the back heel from the corner, just shows what quality he's got. The problem I have with Stephen Humphreys, like I say, is whether he's more suited to playing off the left. And also there's times when he just makes the wrong decision. I've seen him described as a playground footballer because he gets his head down and he runs and he takes one player on and he needs to take 2, 3, 4 on. He's just sometimes wanting to get his head up and pass the ball. And there were a couple of times on Saturday where the crowd were, even though he'd done brilliantly to get into the position in the box by running with the ball, he's then not passed it when he should have passed it and shot from a tight angle because he's had his head down and he's not looked up and seen that, well, at one point pointing at a tapping at the back post, and it's just infuriating. So he's obviously the most talented. I think generally probably the most technically talented that we've got, but probably the most frustrating as well because of things like that. So there's always an argument at City that we're a striker short and we want to bring a striker in, but I think that's probably the case at most clubs. Most clubs probably look at and say, "Oh, if we just had a striker, or we get a striker in January." But it's easier said than done. What I do looking at the strikers that we've got is that they all offer different things and they all bring different things. I think Humphreys is the man in possession at the moment, and rightly so. Cook can come on and change a game when you need to go more direct. And like I say, if you're creating chances, you want Cookie on the pitch late in games. But just get your head up, Humphreys, and pass the ball sometimes.
Yeah, indeed. Coming here from Sporting, thanks, mate. My son played for Bradford City disabled and used to come on the pitch at half-time. City have a really big fan base and will be great to see City in the Championship next season. By the way, can I just say, I think Sporting is a Leeds fan as well. So there you go. That is saying something, a Leeds fan dropping that in. But to be honest, the way it's going for Leeds at the minute, I wouldn't be surprised if we see either Town or City for a few fixtures next season, but we'll wait and see.
I used to play for Bradford City's Disability Club as well. Played on the pitch at half time at Valley Parade. So yeah,
there you go. May cross paths at some point.
We may have done, but I just you say about Humphreys, Gaz. I think an interesting thing about him is that why are they just so reticent to not play him off the left? Is it because you genuinely? I don't think you play with wingers, do you? You play with a lot of the time with more centre attacking midfielders, and we've been doing that at Town recently in a weird 4-4 sort of 2. But it's genuinely because we don't have any wingers to play. Like there are no wingers at the club. Like where I think at Bradford you actually do have wingers. So I find it really weird that you don't do that.
He's very wedded to 3-5-2, or not 3-5-2, 3-4-3 is Alexander. It's what's worked for him since we had the turnaround, after the disastrous March 18 to coming up to 2 years ago, when everything went wrong and he changed the formation. He's gone to that and it's worked for us. You're right, we do play with sort of, it's like 2 10s in a way that will push up and play either side of the front man as well. So we'll have a striker down the middle and then Poynton's normally on the left and Southwich on the right. It will play as 2 narrow 10s, but will push up to form a front 3 at times. I think the argument with Humphreys is this was done to death not too long into the season, where Graham Alexander said that he saw him as a striker. He told him when he signed him he was going to play him as a striker, and that Humphreys was happy with that. Humphreys had obviously previously said that he'd never actually said that he didn't want to play as a striker or that he wanted to play off the wing or off the left or the right. He just said that he didn't see himself as a target man. And obviously, we don't really play. If we do have a target man type striker on the pitch, it tends to be Andy Cook. The once or twice that he has played off the side, he has looked really, really good. But we have other options who can play that position. Obviously, Tyreek Wright can play there, although Tyreek Wright's been playing at wing back lately. Bobby Poynton has that shirt as his own 9 times out of 10 off the left-hand side. And Southwich has the shirt of his own off the right-hand side with Lapsley as his backup. So I think it's just where Alexander sees him more than anything else. But it would be nice sometimes, I suppose, if you had Swan or Cook or Kavanagh down the middle just to see Humphreys wide once in a while. But it can be quite fluid as well. I think that front 3 can be quite fluid if the players, whoever, depending on who it is in the middle, if it's Humphreys, Swan or Kavanagh, they can all pull wide at times as well. So it's not necessarily a rigid front 3. It's more of a flexible front 3. As Ian said as well, Bobby Poynton is suspended on Saturday. He got his whatever booking it was to take him over the suspension threshold at the weekend, and there was some debate as to whether he would be suspended for the Virtue Motors at Bolton tomorrow night, but because it's competition specific, he'll be suspended for the league game at Plymouth on Saturday. So it'll be interesting to see who comes in and plays off that left. Maybe that it will be that Humphreys gets moved out to the left then. Maybe Kavanagh or Swan will play there. There are options. I can't see Tyreek Wright being moved there because he has been really good at wing back, to be fair to him lately. So you'd imagine that Humphreys would be one of 2 or 3 options to play off the side at Plymouth on Saturday.
Yeah, speaking of that Plymouth game, before we get our predictions for tomorrow's Football League trophy games, Plymouth looking at the moment like it's going to be back-to-back relegations. It's the type of game, with City down the years, when they think, oh, this is a game we should get 3 points. It always seems to not always quite work out that way. But I mean, it's a great opportunity to get back-to-back wins in the league there, surely, Gaz.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I said last week on the pod when talking to Downsy and Chris that City have obviously done better this season against sides that have been either fancied or doing well and want the ball and want to play possession football and want to play out from the back and I suppose sides that are confident and come into a game thinking they can turn City over. And we've struggled against sides that are more direct or that have been struggling with less confidence down at the bottom of the league. Now, it'll be interesting to see what way Plymouth play on Saturday because obviously they started the season as a hugely fancied side to go straight back up. I expected them, given how Tom Cleverley played as when at Watford playing when he was manager, to be more possession-based. But the way the season started and the fact that they're down at the bottom, they are very, very short on confidence. It'll be interesting to see how they line up. I believe on Saturday against Northampton, although they got hammered 3-0 at home, I'm led to believe that for the first 45 minutes, they were actually really good and that basically the heads went when they went 1-0 down. And then the game just turned at that point and Northampton ran away with it. Now, They've also got, obviously, Tom Cleverley, the manager, hugely under pressure now because of the start to the season that they've had. They play in the Virtue Motors as well, I think, tomorrow night. If they lose that, we've been saying it for a while after Plymouth games. Is Tom Cleverley still going to be there on Saturday? Is he still going to be in charge? Because it's obviously heading that way, the way that they are in the league. If they were to make a decision to remove Tom Cleverley, the man who's likely to take over temporarily is Mr. Derek Adams, who's gone back there as director of football and everything that would bring regarding City. You know, if we're his first game in charge at Plymouth on Saturday, that'd be tasty. And again, it'd change how they play because he is very direct. It's also worth noting
their leading scorer as well.
I was just about to come on to that. Yeah, Laurent Tallage, big signing from Port Vale. He's suspended after being sent off on Saturday, so that could change how they play. So, given City's record against teams down near the bottom of the league, given everything that's on it, given the way that we don't know how they'll line up, given the confidence, the style of play, Tallage being suspended, it's one of those, and you really don't know what it's going to be like on Saturday. And if they play like they did in the first half, apparently against Northampton, they're going to be a match for anybody. We just need to make sure that we get the crowd against them as quickly as we can, like teams like to do when they come to Valley Parade. If we get on top early on and the crowd turn, then hopefully we can come away with the 3 points. But if we give them the slightest sniff to build confidence, then they're going to be a problem for us.
They've got a fans forum tonight, by the way, with their chairman, chief exec, and Derek Adams. So it'll be very interesting to see what comes out of that, because if they come out and say Cleverley's our man, there could be some.
He'll have 2 games.
There could be some bother there, you know. I mean, how many times are they going to like you've just said, Gaz, about they're all right for 45 minutes, but they got smashed. I mean, by Northampton, all right, I know they're 12 from whatever and been doing well, but they were expected to go down with Northampton. So,
and we talked about this, didn't we, Downsy, a few weeks ago when Town played them and how toxic it was, because we were comparing the situations at Plymouth to the situation as it was at Town at that time, and the fans are just they just want Cleverley gone, don't they? They're just desperate for it to go. I know on Saturday when they lost the game and the players walked over to applaud the fans, there's a video doing the round on YouTube. The players came over to applaud the home fans, and Cleverley's hightailed it straight down the tunnel. So it's not a happy ship there. And obviously, like I say, it's going to depend on who gets on top in the game quickly and whether we can get that crowd against them and get on top of the game.
I think it's more than that, though. I think they genuinely don't like the guy that's owning them right now. They don't see. I think the only one that they have any affinity with is Derek Adams. I mean, I think he played for Plymouth? Did he?
He managed them to promotion a few years ago.
Yeah.
But it was a bit of a hero there in that he took them up, but it ended very, very sourly, and they absolutely hated him by the end. Couldn't wait for him to go. So it's interesting that he's gone back there as director of football, because, like I said, it was a bit of an acrimonious ending after some great success at the start.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, let's get to some predictions then for tomorrow night. Gaz, we'll start with you first. City versus Bolton. What do you think, mate? What are you predicting for that?
Downs is laughing because he knows how much I hate predictions, and it really.
What, Bram? Put him on spot.
But it'll depend. Like you were saying about Lincoln and Town, it's what teams are put out, isn't it? You don't know what sort of team lineups are going to be in this competition. In the past, City have taken it quite seriously. We've got to the semi-final in the last 2 years, but so far this season we have made lots of changes, probably given down to the fact that we started the season so well, and our focus has therefore got to be on the league. And then you've got what sort of side of Bolton going to put out as well, because they're up there in the playoffs, a point or two behind us. You just don't know how these games are going to go. And I honestly, I'm not going. I went the other week when we played them in the league and we took 5,000. I think they'll be lucky if there's 500 there on Saturday. Tomorrow night.
Get this man in Parliament. Get him in Parliament. Come on.
For the other game. For the other game, Gaz, you can be let off the leash with this one. Town versus Lincoln. How do you see that one panning out?
At Lincoln.
Well, it's like
at Lincoln.
It's like the boy. It's at Lincoln, is it? It's like the boys are saying again. It depends who turns up, doesn't it, and what team they go. You probably back Lincoln at home, but if Huddersfield plays to the full potential, then they're going to be a problem as well. You've both made changes in this competition, haven't you? Downsy were telling me the other week that Huddersfield have been making changes, and obviously Lincoln have as well. So again, it's the same scenario as the City game, isn't it? You don't know who's going to have the shirt on, who's going to play, and now it's going to go from there.
Right then, let's get over to these two, see what they're saying.
Right,
Chris.
I was gonna let Downsy go first. I was gonna,
You want to Dowsy? You're right, Dowsy.
No,
Over at you, mate.
Christopher, you go first if you want.
Oh my word! Come on, somebody. Right,
right,
Chris. Come on.
I'm
Go on, Chris.
1-1 and Lincoln to win on penalties.
Oh, there we go. Were you saying 1-1 for City's game, Bradford City, or?
No, for Lincoln.
And then penalties, right? What are you saying for Bradford City? By the way, let's see what you think on that one.
Just because I think it'll be rotated, so I'm going to go like 2-0 Bolton, just because their depth will be stronger than City's depth, really.
Right, I think that's fair.
Downsy, what we saying, mate?
Bradford 2, Bolton 0, Lincoln 3, Town 1.
Oh, look at him now! He was Billy Big Bollocks 10 minutes ago. Now he's playing it down with the score prediction.
Tune in for the live watch along. Downsy.
You wanted a score prediction? I've given you a score prediction.
Jed's just making a point about Towns, to be fair.
Towns got
better than the League One lineup this season.
Yeah, to be fair, Jed is not wrong, and this is a man commenting from Australia. So if he's calling it right from 8,000 miles away or whatever, then I'll go with Jed. But yeah, 3-1. I think
he is going big though for Town this week.
Yeah, Jed's obviously got up quite late this morning and been on the old Fosters. So
who can blame him? Good stuff. Guys, if you watch along, please smash your likes on the video, get subscribed to the channel, and get sharing the video with your mates as well. Just before we get to the Premier League, just want a quick check-in on our fantasy football league, by the way, because I know we've kind of not talked about it, have we? For
great!
I'm just having a little look. I'm thinking like a stone, though, to be honest, because I forgot to change my team for a couple of weeks. Can I just ask, what you fellas staying up to it? Are you looking at every week and making changes? So
I haven't looked at it since the second week. I don't even know who's in my team.
I am, but it doesn't make a blind bit of frigging difference. I mean, I've triple captained Erling Haaland at the weekend and got a grand total of 6 fucking points out of him.
Well,
6 points out of triple captain.
F word on the stream. Secondly, you can't say the word blind in front of me. It's disgusting. That.
Can I say though, Downsy? By the way, Downsy, propping up the bottom, you got your mate Kane from Town Talk. He's second bottom.
Oh yeah, well, Kane Talk's a good game, but can't back it up.
Huddersfield in the rightful place. That's all this is. Second bottom.
Listen, I ain't bothered about a little kids' game of fantasy football. The real football talked on the pitch on tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens.
Hey. There we go.
This is great Friday and taking a few wins over me on FIFA. Speaking of kids' games.
Oh, absolutely. Just 25.
I'm going to say, do we need to pull the screenshot into that? Because what was going on there?
Just talk to Chris about the Chinese Super League.
Yeah, how did you end up playing on the Chinese Super League, by the way?
We just do randoming the leagues that we end up playing in, and usually it goes all right. I'm going to point out that you end up with titles and stuff, and I think I'm 8 titles up to Downsy's 2. But yeah, just one of those bad days when I had 3 men sent off and about half an hour to go and no defense, so I just kept letting you keep running through. We've all been to Brownie. We all have his bad days on FIFA.
I know.
Brownie,
me and Gaz are still on our bloody Mega Drives or something. Where light years I thought we Gaz.
Sensible world of soccer, Brownie. What a game!
Yeah.
If Leeds want to sign a proper striker anyway, go and buy this Kryzen in the Chinese Super League. My God, he's unreal.
I was going to say, did you scout any players? Did you find any
Kryzen? Just go buy Kryzen. He's a Brazilian footballer. He's about 29. He's unreal.
There we go. You heard it here first. Let's get that link pumped. Good stuff. Okay, well, we're going to move on to the Premier League now, and it's time for...
No way.
We can't really play that though with what's going on at the minute. We're going to talk Leeds United. A very narrow defeat, gentlemen, to Manchester City the weekend. I've got to say, at the end of the game, I was absolutely devastated, absolutely gutted. I don't know what's worse, when you go and expect to get absolutely battered, and then it happens, and you kind of go, "Yeah, we got stuffed. We knew we would." But when you kind of get back into the game, and you're a few minutes away from securing a point, and then to lose it,
Yeah,
I think that's worse.
I think
that's much worse, and that's kind of what I was mentally prepared for at the end of the first half.
Hope.
But then it's the hope
that kills you, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it really. Saturday night, I was down in the dumps about it, but Sunday, a little bit of renewed optimism. West Ham, Forest losing their games, and suddenly it feels like, you know what, bit of a fresh start. There was a change in formation that Fark had made, which is the first time he's done that. He changed to a 3 at the back, stuck Calvert-Lewin up top with the Metcha, and it changed the game. And it was interesting because, as Jay has pointed out a couple of times, you know, when managers make a big change like that and they just don't ever do it, you wonder if it's that last roll of the dice. And it certainly felt like that for Farker at half-time, because we were pretty appalling first half. And then it felt like he went for it somewhat, and he changed his team, took 2 wingers off, you know, made some bold moves, which Daniel Farker isn't really prone to. But it worked. It got us back in the game. It made us competitive, and you know, we weren't too far away from securing a point. Despite that, headlines have come out today. So I'll just flash this up. This seems to be the general news that's going round. But Daniel Farker's future as Leeds manager on the line before visits from Chelsea and Liverpool. This has come out, pretty big news today, and it's one of those where I think it's probably true, because it seems to have been leaked to quite a few journalists.
You and Jay, though, have been saying exactly this thing for the last how many weeks? Last 2-3 weeks at least.
Yeah,
certainly before the last international break, you and Jay were saying, well, he'll get given the City, Chelsea, Liverpool games. They'll probably lose them games, and then he'll be axed anyway. Because that's why there was all that talk of, well, do you axe him before them games in hopes to get a new manager in? But the thing is with yesterday is it goes to show there's an element where that squad can do it. It's not that they're outclassed, 90 minutes of every single game. Like, they fought hard in that second half.
Yeah.
And we were unlucky not to come away with a point. So it's just a case of whether Farker can get those battling performances out of the side more often, and whether he's going to get the games to try and do so or not.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, we've got to start picking up some points. I mean, we've lost 6 in 7, so losing's a habit, isn't it? Once you get on that losing momentum, it's just it's so hard to turn it around, and sometimes you need maybe a new man in the dugout to kind of spark something else, but. It seems, I mean, that, looking at the articles flashing around as well, it's saying senior executives are starting to have a look at the situation. And I think there's some kind of admittance there that maybe not all the signings have worked as well. So it's a tricky one. I don't know what's happening with the lineup there, but it's certainly a tricky one. Just to pull in a couple of comments as well. Sporting Journey, the real quality shone through. Unfortunately, Brownie, people are hoping he will stick to the same formation against Chelsea. I'm not sure he will, and he will go back to 4-3-3. And that's the thing. I mean, if you were in Farker's position, what would you do? So you've kind of tried your trusted method, 4-3-3. You've been absolutely humped. You've not won a game in what feels like forever, and then you've switched it up. Like you Hail Mary on Football Manager, isn't it? You switch it up, and it gets you a decent performance. I mean, going into that game against Chelsea at home, would you stick with this new formation, or would you go back to the trident?
What exactly did he do? Was it that 3-5-2 that I think Jay was discussing?
Yeah, so what he did is he brought on Bijol, centre back. So you had Bijol, Strauch, and Rodon as back 3, which he has never done. He took off Dan James and Nonto, the wingers, who were basically both starting a game for the first time in a while. He brought Dominic Calvert-Lewin on, and then just kind of, it was long balls, it was direct, and it seemed to do the trick. And the question is, does he go with that again? going into this game.
Against Chelsea, I wouldn't. Against Liverpool, I would. Because Liverpool have shown that they are shaky at the moment at the back. So if you're going to go for the more physical bombardment approach, that's the game to do it in. Chelsea, on the other hand, look pretty well organised and solid. Like, if you can come out of the Chelsea game with a point, I think that'd be a really good result. So I would 100%. Be a little bit more cautious against Chelsea and just throw the kitchen sink at Liverpool simply because of the way that Liverpool have been of late.
100% Liverpool have really, really struggled with physicality this season. The duels, they're losing though their individual duels. They're not winning the second balls. They're not winning the one-on-one battles. And like I said yesterday, they beat West Ham. I felt Liverpool were there for the taking, and West Ham just didn't get at them enough. And if West Ham had got at them enough, who's to say that they wouldn't have done what other teams have done? I agree with Chris. I think you do that against Liverpool. I don't know so much about Chelsea because I'm not an expert on Chelsea by any means, but definitely against Liverpool, mate. Yeah.
I just think the headlines that have come out today are just setting him up to fail. We all need So we're gonna. So you're gonna sack him in your most difficult run. Like, let's be honest. Okay, Liverpool are a shadow of themselves, but it is on paper the most difficult run you've got so far this season. In the 3 games that you've got, obviously you've already played City, but I just think it's setting him up to fail. I mean, how must he sit there in the training ground? Thinking, all right, so basically I've got to get something in the next 2 games, probably 3 points, really, to make a big difference with the change around of mindset. And we're playing the current champions, even though at the moment they're not very good, and a decent fired up Chelsea side. I mean, I don't know if anybody watched the Chelsea Arsenal game at the weekend, but Chelsea look blooming good. You know, obviously, you're not gonna have Caicedo playing against you, which I think to make a difference for us. But they're a good squad of Chelsea. They play some good stuff.
Just because I know Gaz said he wasn't very familiar with Chelsea. Chelsea are a side that are challenging for the title this season.
Yeah, wow, they're also bankrolled quite heavily, aren't they?
As are Liverpool and every other Premier League club.
Not to the same extent, Chris, at all. If we want to go down that route, we'll go down it, mate.
Go on. Right, all I'll say is, guys, you're talking to a man that, you know, supports a club that's been in non-league for the majority of its time. So he wouldn't know about big money.
You know it.
Are we also now adding Chelsea to another one, to a list of Chris's clubs that he supports?
Oh, brilliant.
Yes,
brilliant.
Just to let everybody know, Chris does support about 30 teams in the English football pyramid. So,
I mean, you support 19 in the Premier League alone, down to
sorry. What you saying down there in non-league? Sorry. Anyway,
where are you in the table, Danza? Where are you in the League One table?
I don't care. It's not where you start. It's where you finish, and you'll be below us. Anyway, back to Leeds United. You know, I think. I mean, how are you feeling about it, Brownie? Obviously, you were devastated on Saturday night, and I get that. But are you just kind of?
Do you know what?
Are you in the kind of a mindset of Farke as just a lost cause now? Have you just?
No, do you know what? It's funny. There's a guy. I don't know if he's watching tonight, Gav, who always comes on our channel, always comments. Love it, brilliant guy. Glad he's so active in the chat, and he's been Farke out for about 18 months. You know, he's come on and he's always kind of found that Farke is just not for him, and but after the weekend's result, he was actually he put a couple of comments in about, if we play like that, we might do all right. Yeah. And I think it's weird that these articles have dropped, because the feeling, I think after the Man City game, I'm sensing that there was a renewed sense of, I don't know, renewed sense of optimism after yesterday's results. It almost felt like, I wonder if this can work with Farke, if he changes the formation and those pieces fit together a bit more, it can still work with Farke. And then it's like, boom, article, he's got 2 games to save his job. Because I agree with you, Downsy. I think with that hanging over you in the public, I don't know. You're on a hiding to nothing, aren't you? I
A
mean,
lost
it's setting
cause.
up, isn't it, for it?
It's a lost cause mentally, I think, for him because he can't win, can he? You know what I mean? He's going to get absolutely trounced in the press if he loses, and by the fan base if he loses the next two, or he's going to get, you know, I just don't think he can win, and that's why I feel a bit sorry for him because I don't think he's being given a fair chance this season by some of the Leeds fan base. You lads have given him a fair chance, and to be fair, you've probably backed him more than a lot of Leeds fans that I've seen.
Certainly not more than a lot of other Leeds content. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I don't think some of the other Leeds content I don't think has been balanced and fair. I think they've just gone with their own agendas. Where, to be fair, Brownie and Jay, they've actually looked at the statistical sort of analysis of it, the way the side plays, you know, the injuries within the squad that they have, and what they've brought in the summer. And there's actually reasoning behind it, and I just think he's a lost cause. But my whole thing about it is, if you replace Farker, I don't know who you're bringing in because I disagreed the other week. Was the week I wasn't on, and you were saying about a list of candidates, and I looked at that list, Brownie, and there weren't many there that I'd go for, to be honest.
We say the same every week, don't we? Like I literally come on here and say the same about with Leeds every week. That if you're going to replace Farker, you've got to have somebody out there who's attainable and realistic, who you think can do a better job. And I don't see it anytime that list brought up. I don't see it. And also, what me and Jay were saying last week about the narrative. The narrative's been there with Farker from the start, and that's the problem. Yeah. I think that's a large part of the problem and why the fan base like they are.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but what did you make of the Donnarumma injury, which enabled Pep to basically give a team talk on the sideline when it had gone to 2-2? I don't know if you guys saw that on Match of the Day or anything, or what you think of that.
It happens week in, week out at every game in the country.
Yeah,
I don't know. I honestly don't know why it's being made such a big thing. Like, it's a complete non-story for me because, like, it happens all the time. Like, all the time, you see goalkeepers go down because, I mean, Christ, I've seen at games, not managers but other members of backroom staff whistling and shouting at goalkeepers, giving them the signal that they need to go down and be injured because it guarantees the stoppage in play, which gets the whole squad over to the dugout. Like, yeah, this happens. I mean, Gaz, Downsy, I'm sure, will back me up on this. This happens week in, week out, every game, up and down the country without fail. So
it's exactly what I was going to say, Chris. I was literally, you've said it. That's pretty much what I was going to say. Yeah.
I think it's because Farker's made a stink of it.
And at every level. Like, it's not a Premier League thing. It happens at every single level, whether it's Huddersfield Town, Leeds United, whatever. But the thing is, and this isn't against you, Brownie, and this isn't even me being a Town fan, Leeds fans have this wonderful ability to create any conspiracy theory against themselves. They do. Like, sometimes I think you lean into it, Brownie, but then you do pull yourself back out, mate, to be fair.
I have to be neutral because I'm the host tonight. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
All right then, Brownie. What's your take on this Donnarumma? Come on, Brownie.
It's corrupt. Everything's corrupt. And Dockham's got points. Where's his 115 charges? Where's that? What's happening? Where's that gone to? Where's all that? When's that getting sorted out? Anyways, we won't go down that list. But yeah, massive games coming up. Me and Jay will be on post Chelsea for instant match reaction on Wednesday. No, are you joking? To see a man have an aneurysm on air, no chance.
I'd love to watch a Leeds watch along and you get pumped 5-0.
Honestly, it'd be embarrassing. Honestly, I would be embarrassing.
It might be the makings of the channel, Darren. Think of it that way. Do it for the channel.
No. Do it for the views, Brownie. Do it for the views.
Watching someone's aneurysm burst and be the making of the channel.
Imagine the views, though. The views. It'd be clipped up. It'd go around. Yeah, finally.
All about the brand, isn't it? All about the brand.
All about the brand, yeah. You know what? Let's do it. I'll try and get the blood pressure up and, get in a bad
So that
mood.
could be 2 watch-alongs then. Chris and Downsy tomorrow, and you and Jay on Wednesday.
The thing about me and Chris is we'll end up saying something not very nice to each other. At least Jay and Brown.
Afterwards. We'll just log on, and on his West Yorkshire WhatsApp group, it'll just be Chris has left the chat and Steve has left the chat.
Down has left the chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave left.
The day that Dave leaves our chat will be the day that football dies. That's when Dave leaves.
Good stuff.
Prediction for the Chelsea game.
You know what? Honestly, if it.
It's about to
do you know what I think? If he did the 3-5-2, if he went with the 3-5-2, I think the fans would be so. I think it'd be backed so much by the fans it could make the difference. But
against Chelsea though, or against Liverpool? Because
I think even so. Do you know what though? It does fit us. It does fit us with the centre backs we've got and the way we're a bit limited in midfield. It does kind of make us a bit more compact. And I would probably go for it. I think because if he doesn't do it, if he goes back to 4-3-3, we lose. Obviously, playing Chelsea, so it's still likely we're not, we're going to lose the game. But I just think it's another rod that people use to beat him with. To be honest,
numbers.
Numbers.
At home.
Is it home to Chelsea and home to Liverpool?
It is, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is home against Liverpool, isn't it?
You're at home. Yeah. You're at home in both games. My prediction, by the way, is Leeds 0, Chelsea 3. But I think you will run Liverpool very close, but they'll just win 2-1. But I think you'll play bloody well against Liverpool because Liverpool are a basket case. Where I think Chelsea are actually they're a good side of Chelsea. I think a lot of people are underestimating them at the minute.
Well, this time next week we could be talking about Farke being sacked. I mean, that's the really that's where we could be at, to be honest. And I think. I don't know. It's in the. I think the content. Yeah.
Well,
I'll have that save my aneurysm for next Monday. Shall I do that?
Brownie, genuine point here, right? They sack Farke, and in a year's time, you sat here. Genuinely, I take no pleasure in this. Well, I do, but never mind. in a year's time, you sat back in the Championship, and you sat 9th or something. Would you look back on the Farke sacking as a wrong decision?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, someone mentioned, I think it was Sporting earlier, about Gary O'Neill being lined up for it. But I'll just go back to this article though, because I think there probably is a sense of a little bit of a panic going on because there's a lot riding on this. Because the 49ers, they're investing in Leeds to get a return and then some on their investment. That doesn't happen in the Championship. They've also committed a lot of money to redeveloping Ellen Road, which again, if you then go out of the Championship, you're a bit stuck. Apparently, the article also says there's going to be money in January, and I think with the new squad cost ratio, which is going to replace PSR, that might help us. So they may think, right, new manager.
We said this last week, didn't we?
Get it done. Yeah.
When that vote thing was taking place about PSR and the clubs were voting against it, and we said that, if hypothetically, if they haven't decided and finalised the kind of a new financial scheme for, by the time January rolls around, that it wouldn't surprise me if a few clubs go and spend big.
Yeah.
In January to roll the dice and try and stay up. And Leeds have got to be one of those if the rest are as well. So I think, again, if you change the manager and back in with a decent amount in the window, there's still a lot to play for.
It's worth breaking PSR for me. Forest and Everton got 6 points, and they're still in the Premier League.
I know. I just think, with Leeds' history and close to financial ruin, I don't know. It's that just hangs over us a little bit. I know it's a different era and everything, but being purposely risking knowing you're breaking the rules, I think it's a bit uncomfortable because of what happened, 20 years ago, a little bit. I think it still hangs in the air a little bit, doing a Leeds, it's a famous phrase, isn't it? That's financial ruin. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree that we should purposely do it, but if this squad cost ratio changes the the kind of playing field a little bit, the parameters, and there is movement there, then I think they'll do it. I think they will try and do it. Just a shout out here as well, Joe Gelhardt in the championship is absolutely setting the world on fire for Hull. Another last minute winner from Joffrey as well. It's great to see Joe Gelhardt doing so well. Really talented player, always like Joffrey. So it's good to see he's doing so well.
Perfect informed season, isn't it, for him to come back into the lead side of the championship next season?
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I have thought that. I did think, oh well, there we go. Just build around Joffrey next year. If we go down, it's fine. It's fine.
Imagine Jay's mind and how much it would lose if Bradford and Town both went to the championship and Leeds went down.
I'm not being funny, but I can't face Town again in championship. I just can't go through that. That City, Bradford, that would be fun actually playing Bradford City because it's been so long. You're talking 20.
It's fun playing us, Brownie. Fun playing us. We'll get Johnny Hogg back.
Watch the streams from before.
He'll kick shit out of you. Well, Johnny Hogg, he's back with under 21 now. He's in ready training for it.
Can't get away from this guy, can we? I know. Okay, moving on then from Leeds United and the Premier League. Chris,
yes.
Down to non-league action. What's been happening there?
To be fair, it was a little bit of a mixed weekend. There was quite a few postponements at kind of the lower levels of the non-league circle. So we'll start with Halifax, who they were beaten 3-1 by Boreham Wood. So as you can see, their recent form has seen Halifax drop down to 11, 7 points off the playoffs, and it's I think they're looking at just the one win in the last 6 or 7 games. It's been a very streaky season. They started slowly. I think they didn't pick up a win in the first half a dozen. Then they went on a decent run where there were, I think, 6 wins in a run of 8 games, and now they're back onto a losing run of some along those lines. So, yeah, Halifax dropping away from those playoff places at the moment. Guiseley weren't in action in the Northern Premier League because Bidness at the start of the season resigned before the season started. So it was their weekend off this weekend. So in the NPL East, Brighouse were beaten 3-0 away at Ashington. Bradford Park Avenue, and I know Lou was there for that one, got a good 3-0 win up in the northeast at Bishop Auckland. Emily won a Yorkshire derby quite comfortably against Pontefract Collieries by 4-0. And they're right at the bottom of the list there. Silsden, they were beaten in a Yorkshire derby heavily at home against Garforth Town. In the Northern Counties League Prem, Albion were beaten at home by Knaresborough by 2-0. Eccleston United got a good win at Cougar Park over Penistone Church with a 3-1 win. But I guess the noticeable thing there is the attendance of just 36, possibly showing that that move to Cougar Park may not necessarily pay off attendance-wise in the long run. Elsewhere, Horbury beat Thackley in another little Yorkshire derby there by 4-2. Campion got a good win on the road at Pickering Town. And in the NCL Division 1, Gloucester Mines Welfare lost on the road at Crowell Colts. Ilkley played out a thrilling 3-3 draw against Doncaster City. And Wakefield beat Durham District by 4-2. And if I'm right in thinking, Brownie, if you have a look at that Ilkley Doncaster game there, Sanchez Payne, wasn't he on Leeds' books years ago in League One?
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, Sanchez Payne. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, now playing his trade at Doncaster City. So, yeah, all in all, a bit of a brief roundup, really, with the non-league scene this weekend, just because of a number of postponements with the weather at the weekend.
Superb. Excellent. Well, there's your lot. Thank you so much to everyone who got involved on the show tonight, whether you commented, liked the video, or subscribed to the channel. Please make sure you do all 3. And if you're watching this again later, drop us a comment as well. Check out all the other shows on the channel as well. So myself and Jay will be back for post-match review and instant reaction.
Just before you go, Brown, there we go. We know how much you love Mark Hughes.
Shall I go get the T-shirt? I can go get the T-shirt. Do you know what? I've forgotten the origin of that. How did I end up with a T-shirt with Mark Hughes on?
Because you kept saying...
Was it me backing Mark Hughes when he was Town City manager? God.
Yeah.
Blimey, how did that happen? Those were the days. But yeah, if you're watching this again later, please do get your comments in, like the video, get subscribed to the channel, and share the video as well. It's much appreciated. It's free and it does help us boys out. We'll be back next week. Town Talk, that'll be later in the week, won't it, Downsy?
Yeah, Sunday night, it's 8 p.m. Join us for misery. Yeah, down with the imps.
Superb. And Gaz, your match reviews, they'll be on the TikTok channel and also the YouTube channel as well, won't they?
Yeah, keep them coming.
Yeah, catch Gaz there as well. Well, I want to thank everyone who's been on the show. I've been Stephen Brown. With me has been Chris Bell. Thank you, Chris.
No worries, mate. Up the imps.
Thank you, Dowsy.
Up the town.
And thank you, Gaz, as well.
Up the fucking chickens.
Show demonetized for 2 F words. Brilliant. Well done, chaps.
Good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll catch you again soon. Bye-bye.